We got an awesome Thursday night football game on tap for us between the Ravens and the Bengals, and I have two player props for you guys to hammer for this Thursday night football game. If you are new to my YouTube channel, would appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button as I attempt to grow. But what I do here with these NFL player props is I find plays that I like, but instead of taking them at the main line, what I do is I pump up those numbers a little bit in hopes of getting pretty juicy odds for a pretty juicy payout. And the success has been phenomenal. Monday Night Football, we continued that success. I gave out 2 picks. We got one of those 2 to cash, but thanks to the juicy odds, we end the day up 1.2 units. That brings our total profit. This is starting in week 7 is when I started doing this. So it's been 3 full weeks of football. We are up just over 19 units with a win-loss record of 12 and 16. Now keep in mind that win-loss record includes pretty much every single play being plus 200 and above. So don't look at the win percentage, look at the profit, which has been incredible. ROI of 17.55%. As I mentioned, for this Thursday night football game, I got 2 picks for you guys. Again, make sure to subscribe, make sure to comment, let me know your thoughts, whether you like or dislike my picks. You can let me know, and then like the video as well. And let's move on. We got 2 picks for you. Number 1, we're taking Mark Andrews over 4.5 receptions, plus 120 odds at this one is at BetMGM. So this one is a little bit lower and from an odds perspective than I like. And I will admit I was really close to pumping up his yards to a juicier number than plus 120, but I decided to play it safe and just go with the receptions. Still a plus money banger, so satisfies that. The Ravens are weird. They're a very good football team who have very good statistics, but their passing game just hasn't quite been there. That includes Mark Andrews, who's been good, hasn't been phenomenal. That includes the receivers that have been pretty disappointing from a fantasy perspective, along with Lamar Jackson as well. But in this specific game, I'm expecting Andrews to have a good game. So he missed one game, but even with that, he's still second on the Ravens in total targets with 57, which is 21% of the targets. Zay Flowers leads the Ravens in targets at 26%, but he has not had success with those targets. So I mentioned, Mark Andrews has not been phenomenal this year. He missed week 1, so he's only played in 9 games. In those 9 games, he's gone over this number, over 4.5 receptions, 4 times. With that said, he has had exactly 4 receptions another 4 times. So that is 8 of 9 games in which he has had 4 or more receptions. Now, obviously, if he hits 4 in this game, that doesn't help us. He needs to get to 5 or more, which I do think that he can get against the Bengals. The Bengals defense is good, right? They are good. But one area in which they struggle is against the tight end. Last week, Dalton Schultz had success against them with 71 receiving yards, went over his total in that regard. The previous 2 weeks, Dalton Kincaid had 10 receptions on them. Kittle had 9 receptions for over 100 yards. They're good defense, but that their one weakness is against the tight end. Overall, looking at DVOA gives them the 3rd worst defense in the NFL at guarding the tight end. And then my last point that I'll make here is that Andrews has consistently had good games against the Bengals. He's had 5 or more receptions in 4 straight games against the Bengals. So again, I do like his pumped up yards as well, but it was a little too high for my comfort, so I decided to stick with the receptions for plus money. Because of the odds, all we need is one of these 2 plays to hit in order to make money. Obviously, we're hoping to get both, with our next one being Tyler Boyd, 60 plus receiving yards, plus 200 odds at FanDuel. Now, this is a play solely because of the absence of T. Higgins, which makes Tyler Boyd pretty much the second receiving option for the Bengals. And with that reality, Tyler Boyd being their second receiving option, this line is just too low. His main line is like 42.5, but I like pumping it up to get 60. The Ravens defense is very good. I will not say anything to the contrary of that. But 60 yards is not a lot when you consider the fact that, as I mentioned, he will probably be the second leading target on the Bengals. And the Bengals are probably going to be passing the ball a ton in this game. I do not expect them to have a ton of success running the ball. And I probably think that they're going to need to put up points to keep up with the Ravens, which means that they're going to need to be passing a ton. Now, Higgins has missed 4 games. In 2 of those 4 games, Tyler Boyd went over 100 yards. I'm not projecting him to get over 100. I think 60 is actually pretty safe when you consider the data with T. Higgins missing. In those 4 games, Tyler Boyd has had an average of 9 targets, 2 games, he's gone over 10. And in the other 2 games, he's had 6 and he's had 7. That's pretty good. Now, I'm not projecting a 120-yard blow-up game. I do think he goes pretty heavily over his main line of 42.5, and hopefully he can get us to 60. The splits with and without Higgins are crazy. In games with Higgins, he only averages about 5 targets per game, roughly 43 receiving yards. Obviously, he smokes those numbers with Higgins out of the lineup. I know the common wisdom here might be for people to hammer Jamar Chase. Everybody remembers his first 2 games of his career against the Ravens. One game he put up over 200, another game he put up over 100. But since then, he's mostly been held in check. Now, held in check for Jamar Chase standards, but his over-under is also in the 80s. So yeah, Jamar Chase or Tyler Boyd is not the talent of Jamar Chase, but Jamar Chase's over-under is in the 80s, where Tyler Boyd, we just need him to get 60. I am very confident in that. I love for him to get 60 yards in this one as our second play. Again, thanks to the odds, we just need one of these 2 to cash to be profitable. Let's hope we can get both. And that's all I got. 2 plays for you guys to lock in. Remember to like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, comment. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if there's another prop that you like. Regardless, I appreciate everybody for watching, and have a good one.